A new report shows Ontario is in a crisis state when it comes to accessibility. In 2005, Ontario's Legislative Assembly unanimously voted in favour of the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act. It required the province to be fully accessible for people with disabilities by 2025. Well, now, with the deadline just 1 year away, disability expert Rich Donovan was hired to review the act and has written a report saying the province is still far from making it a reality, even after 18 years' time. So joining us this morning in studio for a closer look is Chris Dias. Chris is the founder of the accessibility compliance firm Handy Help. Good to have you with us in studio.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So 2025 is less than now 12 months away. Why does Ontario seem to be so far behind in reaching its goal, and where are we lacking?
I think the short answer for that is that there's currently no mechanism in place for compliance. So it's really just, it's turned into a complaint-based piece of legislation.
Interesting. In 2021, Statistics Canada released this report where 63% of Canadians with disabilities, difficulties, or long-term conditions encountered at least one or more barriers when using transportation. What would a fully accessible province look like?
I think there's three phases to that. Of course, one of them would be transportation and ensuring that all our municipal TTC stations are accessible.
And right now they're not.
And right now they're not. There's about 2/3 of them that are, and 1/3 is not. Mm-hmm. And they may or may not hit that mark by 2025. I'm not 100% sure on that. The next point would be definitely our healthcare system. And the third one would be housing.
If a truly fully accessible province is no longer achievable, then what should we be prioritizing? Those three areas that you just mentioned, transportation, healthcare, and housing?
Absolutely. There's been a report that was done by the Ministry of Seniors and Accessibility around our healthcare system and our education system. And that report's been finalized, and it's been essentially on the shelf for 3 years. So the current government has yet to implement any of those recommendations that have been made, and that's been 3 years, and that's just sitting there.
As somebody who uses a mobility device, what does it say to you that the province made this commitment unanimously across the board and hasn't fulfilled it?
I feel like, number one, are they listening? And then it has to be, do they even care about people with disabilities? Because it seems in 2019 there was a change made by the current government, which removed that enforcement piece, essentially calling it red tape and a burden on small businesses. And now we're at the current state where there's no mechanism for compliance in place.
If the government doesn't meet its goal, and this looks like it won't, by 2025, how do you think they should be held accountable?
Well, voting is number one. That, I guess, would be the best. And I think we could write our MPPs, we could continue to advocate for ourselves, but number one would be voting in my books.
Chris, I know it wasn't easy for you to get in here today, not only just because of traffic, but because of some of the transportation issues that you and I were talking about. If you would want to, before you leave, anybody to know anything about this situation for people living with disabilities who want to be able to feel like an equal citizen in this province when it comes to housing, healthcare, and accessibility, what would you say?
I would just say that the same attention and focus that is on equity, diversity, and inclusion, we need to remember that within that is the population of people with disabilities, and we need to be equally represented within those communities and that lens.
Chris, thanks for making the time to be with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.